Uniquely.
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 Issaquah.
Welcome to another edition of Uniquely Issaquah. In our podcast today, we're going to be talking about green buildings. As a mayor, I'm very excited about the work that's being done in this area in our city and in the region in general. We're going to talk with staff from our economic development team and our sustainability team about a program that supports buildings in Issaquah becoming more energy efficient. We're also excited to showcase great examples of the work that's being done in our community, buildings that are leading the way. So here today to join me is Farel Otieno, our economic development coordinator. Welcome, Farel.
Thank you.
And Stacy Vynne McKinstry, our sustainability manager. Welcome, Stacy.
Thank you.
I'll start first with Farel. Farel, can you tell me what role buildings play in our community and talk about some of the common examples of large buildings that we might be familiar with?
Thank you, Mayor Pauly. First of all, it's general knowledge that buildings play a very important part in every community. And to put it in context, buildings satisfy certain societal purposes, such as businesses, employment, entertainment. And now let's trickle down to Issaquah. So if you look at Issaquah, we have those big buildings that are housing our businesses, the building that are also housing our entertainment, talk of village theater. And on your next question, you've asked about some of the examples of buildings. So we have building complex like Grand Ridge Plaza and Issaquah Commons, both with small and large businesses. And of course, when you talk about Issaquah, we can't fail to mention Costco. It is also a big building. And in line with that, we also have all the school district here in Issaquah. Thank you.
That's great, Farel. Thank you. Thank you for reminding us of all those buildings. They have a large impact on our environment. They are large contributors to greenhouse gas production. So, Stacy, I'm wondering if you can share a bit about the known impacts of those greenhouse gases and what goals has the city of Issaquah set?
Great. Thank you, Mayor Pauly. As Farel talked about, buildings are really essential components of our community. They're places we gather, recreate, learn, worship, work, and live. But they also have a big impact on both the land environment as well as emissions. In Issaquah, buildings account for over half of our community-wide greenhouse gas emissions. These are buildings such as residential, public, and commercial buildings. Back in 2021, the city adopted its first climate action plan, and we, within that, included really bold and ambitious targets for both greenhouse gas reduction emission as well as energy use reduction. Those were goals and targets really set by the community, so this is an important area that the community wants to see action on. In order to reduce those emissions, we have set a number of put forth a number of actions to help reduce our emissions and energy use in our buildings.
That is great. I'm just so proud of all the work that you have done. I use so many of your statistics when I'm out and about in the community. Issaquah started a Clean Buildings Incentive Program in 2022. And Stacy, I wonder if you can provide an overview of this program and what support it provides.
Sure. Back in 2019, the Washington State Legislature developed a Clean Building Performance Standard. This is a pretty complex law, but just to put it in a very quick summary, it essentially sets energy standards for all kinds of building types depending on their usage. If you use more energy than the standards set by the law, you need to figure out how to reduce your energy use through, that could be efficiencies, transitioning equipment, or renewables. There are state reporting requirements, and then there's going to be penalties put in place if buildings aren't in compliance. The law applies to buildings that are 20,000 square feet and above. This could be a multifamily building, commercial building, even our public facilities. The state has, really good news, set aside some incentive dollars, so buildings that need to be in compliance can apply to get some of those incentive dollars on a first-come, first-served basis. In Issaquah, we think there's around 200 buildings that need to be in compliance with the state law. So that's a really large number of buildings.
Big number.
It's a lot of work that needs to be done in our buildings. As I mentioned, our climate action plan has a lot of ambitious targets, and so around buildings. So we decided to start a program that would really help our buildings come into compliance and meet the state requirements. By starting this program, we wanted to do that work faster and even exceed the requirements set by the state. So we started a program that offers free services to our buildings. We value those services at around $18,000 per building. So it's a really great opportunity for building owners, property managers to get ahead of those state requirements and work with us to meet compliance.
Thank you for that, Stacy. Can you both talk a bit about what benefit the program has for our businesses in Issaquah? And maybe both Stacy and Farel can weigh in on this one.
Thank you for this question. And number one, we provide free consultation services and guide them through the process of meeting energy compliance.
That's great.
And also, Stacy echoed about some incentive. So what are we doing as staffs? We are also supporting the state in helping get the word out about the program to these businesses about concerning compliance requirements and all the incentives that are available. I'll
so important.
Shift it to Stacy to mention a few.
Yeah, the law is complex. There's a lot of requirements. It can be really challenging for folks to go through this on their own. And so what we're trying to do is just support them along in the process. Our program has a lot of accesses to resources, to financial incentives, and we will make sure all of those are made available and really help through the program. Really, the benefit for the city is helping us meet our emission targets and energy efficiency reduction targets faster and hopefully exceeding those beyond what would happen if buildings just came into compliance with the law or if they waited for the penalties to come into effect and then started taking action. One other unique aspect of our program is we've actually opened it up to all buildings. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, not just the buildings that need to be in compliance with the state, but anyone that wants to advance work on renewables or energy efficiency, we can support them through that process. We're also really focusing our efforts on those maybe more disadvantaged that might have a bigger challenge at meeting state requirements, as well as our nonprofit organizations.
And to add on that, we have also, we look at this program as a win-win situation between the businesses and the city too, because when we work with them, they benefit the city relationship with building owners. And another thing is, as Stacy has mentioned, we're working with a number of building owners and properties owners throughout the city. Building that participate in this program, they get to get free building scoping assessment. And this assessment is to identify energy-saving opportunities. And another thing is, once you participate in this program, you get access to training focused on energy benchmarking, operation, best practices, and energy management planning.
Yeah, this is amazing. One of the reasons I love this program so much is because a lot of folks in our community can see energy efficiency in new buildings, but most of our stock is not new. And so this is really filling a huge void, and we didn't have this support before. I think it would be a really good time right now for us to highlight some of those champions in this space, some of those businesses that we're working with that are just leading this. And let's take a few moments and watch a video.
My name is Anthony Patton, Director of Plant Operations at Timber Ridge at Talus. Timber Ridge at Talus is a senior living community. There's 185 residents that live in Northridge, which is phase 1, and 185 residents that live in Southridge, which is phase 2. The general purpose of the building is a senior living community with a health center on the 3rd floor that houses a skilled nursing facility, memory care, and assisted living, and 71 residents stay there. Timber Ridge was constructed under LEED Silver, and it has reached its mature state. And so we start focusing on sustainable energy, whether it's electricity or water or HVAC. And so our initial focus was the low-hanging fruit, which was LEDs and occupancy sensors. And we're shifting our focus now to domestic water systems. We're looking at innovative ways to get off natural gas. And so some of the technology that you see out there is heat pump systems. So that's going to be, our focus or strategy in the coming years is to move off natural gas and go into electrified heat pump systems. There is a significant amount of work that does go into that technology, but the systems run at a 400% efficiency. Lighting timers is another installation that we've installed, and that's reduced the runtime of lighting in corridors. We've installed smart irrigation controllers that have reduced the runtime of irrigation based off evaporation technology and soil moisture and weather forecasting. We've installed smart thermostats in all the residencies, and we've seen at certain points of the season throughout the year a 10% reduction in natural gas. So those have been beneficial in our measures. There's a significant amount of our residents that are really enthused about the changes with technology and sustainability. There's also an impact to their daily lives. We learn to work with the technology and with the residents to achieve ultimately our sustainability goal. So the partnership we have with our community was very important because we had to produce a lot of education to the residents that they weren't used to. It's not a typical thermostat that you would have in a single family dwelling. And so we worked through that for the better part of a year with education and town hall meetings and listening to the residents' needs.
That is really amazing to see video of fabulous examples of champions in our community. So thank you for getting that done and helping make that a part of this program. I'd also wonder now if you could both speak to partners who are involved in this program. We'll start with you, Stacy.
Great. Yeah, we have a number of other building owners, property managers that are involved in the program. Highlight just a couple others. Raleigh is really working with compliance on their larger buildings. They've been piloting innovative green buildings, such as the REI headquarters. They have solar panels that just went on one of their office buildings. Another great partner we've had is the school district. We've been supporting them with compliance for all schools. As you know, they have a very large footprint in the city, so really excited to see them advancing work. I did want to just highlight, too, with the partners that we have in place right now, and 5 that have gone through the real initial assessments to look at our emissions reduction from improvements in those buildings. Just with those 5 buildings, we're looking at about 12,000 metric tons of CO2 reduced with those improvements. That's like taking about 3,000 gas-powered cars off the road for a year. So that just to give a snapshot of the impact that buildings do have on our emissions. But we have a number of other partners we're working with. I think Farel will highlight a few of those.
Sure. As Stacy has mentioned, we have quite a number of partners. And I would like to highlight about one of the partners that we've been working with is Vision Partners. And when I mention Vision Partners, I mean the Chamber, Issaquah Highland, we have the Economic Vitality Commission rep, we have also Gilman Village. So the Chamber has helped with marketing and hosting webinar, partnering with the city of Bellevue also to coordinate on programs and marketing. Compliance with the clean building standard takes time. Mm-hmm. So we are here also to encourage most of these businesses to start today, to kind of ensure compliance and maximize the benefits of increased energy efficiency.
That is great. How can people in our community learn more about what you're doing?
They can visit our website, issaquah.gov/clean buildings. And through that, they'll learn a little bit of information about the program. And then we can connect them directly to our consultant partner, McDonald Miller Facility Solutions.
So as ED, we have our business e-news, which goes after every other week to kind of we use this model to disseminate information concerning clean building initiative. And the response has been overwhelming because some of the business would always reach out to us. They want to know more about this program. So I can confidently saying that we are heading in the right direction and kind of trying to tap all these businesses. The goal is to make them all comply with the state regulations.
That's great. Thank you for finding the communications tools that are working for our business community. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
This is a big lift that makes a dramatic difference. And Stacy, I always feel like you're trying to appeal to my engineering side by giving these amazing data points. It's just stunning what a difference this can make. I'm very, very proud of our city team. I think we are so lucky to have folks like you working with our community to move us in a better direction and meet those sustainability goals. So I want to thank both of you for coming today. It's been just an absolute pleasure to have you share this with our community. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.